Hi. All right. So I took 1 year in 2015 where I quit my job and traveled for a year on savings. I took a career break at age 41. That changed the entire trajectory of my life. It gave me a whole new vision, a whole new plan for my life. And so I have been on a mission since then to help other Black women take a career break of their own, take a sabbatical of their own, take a significant period of time in their lives where they don't work. And of course, the biggest question is always, how do I afford it? So today we're going to talk about three secrets, three ways to fund your own sabbatical, to fund your own career break. Three ways that Black women are funding their time in their adult lives where they don't work. Okay, but first, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Stephanie Perry. I'm a house sitter. I'm the creator of House Sitter School, the co creator of Exodus Summit, and I help Black women take a sabbatical, take a career break. I help Black women move abroad. I help Black women bop around as a nomad. If these things sound good to you, please hit the subscribe button and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Also, ring the notification bell, turn on notifications so that you'll be notified when I post a new video or when I go live. Welcome. Welcome, friends. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being patient with me. I'm a little late, which is kind of the normal. Good morning. Good morning, Dana. Good morning, Stephanie. Good morning, Tanya. Good morning, Ms. Callie. Good morning, Janet. Good morning, Igami. Good morning, Brittany from in Nashville. Hey. Good morning, Montine. Good morning, Yasha Hart. Yasha Rala. Good morning, lovely Libra and Janice, and blessed in every area of my life. And Janice, maybe you were Janice and you were Janice. If not, we've got a double Janice day. Good morning, Carmen and Jackie and D Sib and Francis. Good morning, Kim and Auntie Trey. Good morning, everybody. All right. So I had a little video on YouTube, get some good numbers. No, a video on Instagram, which is not a place that I post a whole lot. I had a video on Instagram, get some pretty good numbers, and um, a lot of responses to the video were, but how? Okay, I had a video where I just said I took a career break, I saved $14,000, I took a career break, and it changed everything. And that's when I got to meet myself, right? That's when I got to get to know myself. And of course, right, the responses, as you would expect, were how. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the how. It's not a secret. It's not anything that I'm keeping secret or other women who have taken a sabbatical are keeping secret. So we're going to talk about three ways, and I'll tell you them now, but we'll go in depth with them, of course, um, throughout the course of this live stream. So we've got three ways that Black women are funding time away from work. All right. Number one is savings and investments. Number two is house hacking and work exchanges. We'll lump them together. House hacking and work exchanges, they may be two separate. And number three is to work during a sabbatical, which is maybe something you think is blasphemous, but we're going to talk about ways to work during a sabbatical to bring in money. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm very happy to see you guys here. I prepared a little something, which is kind of why I'm late. I prepared a little. Can y'all see this on the screen? Can y'all see this? Okay, so as I said, I had a YouTube, I keep saying YouTube, I had an Instagram reel, get some good numbers over the last week or two. And I had lots of comments on that Instagram reel. So I screenshotted a couple of the comments, but I covered up their names and faces because I didn't get their permission to use it on, like, it's okay to use it on Instagram, right? But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So I just covered up names, okay? But the first comment that I captured was from a Black woman. I never thought I would be able to afford a sabbatical. It always sounded like something only privileged people did until I went through burnout and my body was shutting down. Somehow I found a way. Empowered cycle breaker. Hashtag empowered cycle breaker. All right, so this is important. I don't want us, Black women, I don't want us to have to wait until, is there a better side? Which side? I don't want us to have to wait until we're shutting down physically, emotionally, mentally to get some clarity, some free time, the gift of free time. I hope that we aren't waiting for that, right? In order to take some time for ourselves where we just focus on our dreams and what we want. But if you do get to that point, uh, you're going to find a way to make the money. And you'll probably find a way to get the money the same way that some of the same ways that we're going to talk about on this list. Okay. All right. Let me look and see what's going on in the chat. Simi says, I need to travel on a budget for my next sabbatical. I spent way too much. Okay, so Simi took a sabbatical, but it wasn't a budget sabbatical. Okay, yeah, all right. So let's talk about the first way. Okay, that's the end of the graphics. I saved one more screenshot, but that's the end of the graphics. Don't get excited. I don't have a whole lot going on. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about in terms of taking a sabbatical, and let me back up. Friends, if you've taken a sabbatical, if you've taken time as an adult where you did not work, can you give us a sentence or two about how you afforded it in the chat? Okay, so I did it by saving up the money ahead of time. I worked extra to save up the money to do it ahead of time, but that was 2015 and I didn't start house sitting until 2017. So today I would do things very differently. But at that point, back in 2015, the way that I afforded my sabbatical is that I worked extra and saved the money. So number one, savings and investments. Some of us have saved money for future use, but we're just afraid to use it for a sabbatical. And I'd like to talk to you today for a few minutes about letting go of that, of using the money you've saved for yourself for yourself. If you've saved money for you, use it for you, okay? It's okay, I think, to reorganize how that money gets spent. You may have originally started saving that money for your life after 65, okay? But can you reallocate that towards a mini retirement? Can some of that money go towards a mini retirement? Yes, right, you're going to want money to take care of yourself after retirement. But can some of this go towards a mini retirement? That was my approach. Even though I had to save the money, I didn't have the money in my investment account to be able to go out and live on. So I had to save the money. But that was my approach to it, right? This is a mini retirement. This is my money, which I'm earning, and I'm going to use it towards a mini retirement. If you approach it as a mini retirement, maybe you'll be a little more likely to use that money instead of just holding on to it and holding on to it and holding on to it. In the financial independence retire early movement, in the FIRE movement, there is a lot of talk about getting enough pot of cash, right, so that you can live on the interest, right? That's investment money, right? Live on the interest, live on the dividends, right? Without really touching the pot of cash. But that pot of cash is going to go to somebody. Somebody's going to have access to that pot of cash when you die. So why are we not using it? Why are we not using some of it, right? I'm not a financial advisor. I don't think anybody would sign up for financial coaching and financial advice from me, okay? Because I'm not even 100% sure money is real, okay? But what I'm saying is, if the money is your money that you've saved and invested and earned, use your money for you. That's the very first point, okay? That's the first point I want to make today, all right? A lot of times when I talk to women, I do coach women about sabbaticals and house sitting. I don't coach about money stuff. Adelia does, and I'll give you her info. But when we do approach the subject of money, sometimes women are never even considering that, right? Never even considering the 401k or the 403b money that they have sitting, right? If it's your money and you need a break, right? Because you're on the verge of burnout. You're on the verge of you shutting down, right? If it's, I go to work and I continue and things shut down and I have a what could be a potential disaster, right? Or I use this money and I take a break. I vote for you to use that money and take a break. Okay? That's the first point I wanted to make. All right? So, here's what I mean. Okay, here's a portion of what I mean by money's not real, right? Some women in this community tapped into their Vanguard investment accounts a little over a year ago. They took that money out and they took a sabbatical or a career break or did something with that money. Other women left the money in the account. Those women have the same amount of money, right? That money, that my Vanguard account, where I left the money in instead of taking the money out, might as well have blown it. I might as well have used it, right? That 2022 Vanguard statement looked horrible. Was that real money? Did I lose real money? I don't know. I never had it. I never accessed it. If I had pulled it out, it would have been real money. If I'd used it, it would have been real money. If I'd spent it on a sabbatical, and a home, on residency in Costa Rica, on adoption fees, it would have been real money. Instead, it was a number on a screen, a terrible number on a screen. I don't know. I don't know, right? So we'll anyway, okay. Jackie Brown, I never thought about using 401k, but I'm going to look into it. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know, right? Somebody's going to ask me about what are the penalties and what are the fees. I don't know. But you need to find it out and figure out if it's worth it. It might very well be worth it. Sitting here as a whole different person from the person I was before the career break, those penalties and those fees, they might be worth it. They would have been worth it to me. I'm a new person. I am me now, right? And not worker Stephanie because of that. Mom Adventure says, I used my 401k money. It wasn't a large amount, but it bought me 1 year off along with unemployment. Okay, good. So you guys collect unemployment too. Good. I don't regret it. I had it to go then. Wait, I don't regret it. I had to go right then. Okay. Okay, when you got to go, you got to go. Some of us get pushed, some of you guys get pushed into a career break because like you get laid off, right? Or you get something happens and you have to take it now. So I think that there is less there for some of us. Okay, yeah, for some of you, there is less stress in taking that money and using it than there is in stressing about what you're going to do. Once you take the money and pay that penalty, that's the end of it. It's now your money, right? Instead of what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Being stressed all the time, poisoning yourself with those stress hormones all day, every day, for days and weeks and months. That's my advice. I wanted to start with this because I wanted to get it out of the way. It's the thing that I'm qualified the least to talk about. Okay, the other stuff we're going to talk about, I'm qualified. This is the thing I'm qualified the least to talk about. So I'm going to have to point you to some other people. But I want us to just put it in the conversation. Locating Cozy, went on FMLA, just got approved for unemployment, gave up my $2,000 apartment and pet sitting for lodging. I love it. Okay, you're doing the things on the list. Okay, wonderful. Okay, FMLA, and plus unemployment. I didn't know that that was an option, right? I didn't know that you could get unemployment while on FMLA. We need to look into what our options are. What are your, um, what's out there for you? What's out there for you? What does Janet, that white woman at work who's always out, what does she know that you don't know? Right? Every office, every job's got a Janet. Janet knows the rules. knows. Janet knows the system. Janet knows the money. And Janet is going to get every day she's entitled to, every break she thought about getting, right? And so who is who is the Janet that you can talk to find out how to get your money? Find her, talk to her. She'll tell you. I think that's one thing I know about people like that. Yes, they know how to get access to those things, and also they will share that information. And there may be some groups out there as well. Okay? All right. I'm so serious. Everybody's got a Janet. Every job I've ever had has had a woman who was out long term. Every job I've ever had. Every job had a woman who was out long term and knew how to get her. She knew what her benefits were. She knew what she was supposed to get access to. She knew how to access it. Okay. Now, they may not have treated her well when she came back. That's another story. Some jobs are very vindictive. When you access the benefits you're entitled to, they want to lash out at you. That's a different story. But you need some of y'all get in touch with Janet and find out what's out there for you. Okay? Okay, Kim. All right, some of you I think are the person, the person right now. My job had a Jeanette. She was the source for leveraging the system in your favor. There is one. There is one. If there isn't one, you might want to become the one. Okay? But there is somebody you can talk to make sure that you're getting everything you're entitled to. Okay? You get it. Find out what you're entitled to and then use it. Okay? But back to say, okay, so I got excited with the FMLA. That could very well be a path. I've interviewed, one time I counted, I think it was over 30 Black women who took sabbaticals. A good amount of women have accessed sabbaticals through work benefits, through some sort of work benefit that they weren't aware of. So don't overlook it. Don't overlook that. Okay? Thank you. All right. So savings and investing don't only mean your 401k, right? You may have an investment that's giving you money, that's giving you dividends, but you're just reinvesting the dividends. Maybe for a while you pull out those dividends. I'm thinking mostly of real estate. If you own a rental property and you're used to not spending the rental property profits, maybe for a while you spend that profit, right? If you have a business and that business is an investment and that investment is paying you money, but you're reinvesting the money, right? You're not using the money. Maybe for a while during your sabbatical, you use the money. Think about the other investments that you have, any investment that you have. What are you doing with that income? And can you instead, for a finite period of time, for a set period of time, can you use that income instead for you, for your sabbatical? Okay? Oh, okay. I did not. Okay, and then Jacqueline says she did not get approved for unemployment while on FMLA, but tried. I can imagine that this is really unpredictable, the combo. I just didn't know it was possible at all. I didn't know it was possible at all to apply for unemployment while on FMLA, so that was a nice surprise. But I was just glad to hear it. Kim Louise, I knew someone in benefits. I knew a benefits specialist once. She wasn't Janet, but she happily spilled all the tea. Yeah. Okay. All right. So is there a place where you're earning money, but right now you're not spending that money. You're not using that money on you. Maybe you're using it to reinvest it like my Vanguard account, right? If it was making money today. If my tens of thousands of dollars in Vanguard was making money today, I would just it just automatically gets reinvested, right? Maybe for a while we pull that money out. Okay. All right. Clintina, hi. I own rental properties. Okay. So if there is some income instead of whatever you've been doing with that income, is this money you can use on you? Okay. Okay. Yeah, Jackie says a young man at her job took a year hiking in Peru, took a sabbatical and went hiking in Peru. He was the Janet, okay? And Janice says, we had a Susie at my old job. She was never at work. I could never figure out her secret. It's time to tap in, okay? It's time to reach out. Reach out. Reach out, okay? Okay? All right? Investments and savings. So rental properties, I would consider rental properties an investment that may be bringing you money that you may be able to use on you for your sabbatical. Uh, But we haven't talked about something very important. How do you know how much you need? Okay, that's a totally different conversation that would take too much time to cover in length. I've covered it in length on this channel of several times, okay? And Rashida on Sheeta's on the Loose on her YouTube channel, she's covered it several times. How to decide how much money you need. I would say the shortest answer I can give you is we have a couple of calculators in the Work from Anywhere toolkit that will give you cost of living for a place. So if your sabbatical is going to be like mine was, where you're going to bop around, or you're just going to go to a place and stay there, the best thing that I can tell you is to start with a cost of living calculator for the places that you want to go, and then figure out how much monthly it's going to cost you to be there, right? Start with the basics: accommodation, transportation, food. What are those things going to cost you every month in each location you want to go to, right? If you're going to one place for 3 months, one place for 3 months, right? Figure out the basics of what it's going to cost. The Work from Anywhere toolkit is the shortest way to do, or like the Work from Anywhere toolkit gives you links to some calculators that help you figure out cost of living in different places. If you don't want to do all that, seriously, just look at Airbnb, right? The most expensive things are going to be airfare and Airbnbs if you're going to stay in Airbnbs. So just look on Airbnb, see what an Airbnb costs in the city you want to go to, right? That's the starting place. But then on my channel, I'll find a link later. On my channel, I have a longer video where we work through how much is it going to cost me to take X amount of time off of work. Okay? Okay, but savings and investments, this is one way that women are spending or are affording a sabbatical. And the investments include their 401k. Okay, so secret number one, some black women are using their 401k money they've saved for retirement, towards mini retirements. Okay, I approve. I approve. I guess basically what I want you to know is if you're considering that, I don't think there's any shame in that. That's money you've saved to use for you. So use it for you. Okay? All right. Anybody feeling any type of way about that? It's okay to disagree with me. Just don't do it, right? If you totally disagree and that really upsets you, okay, we're going to talk about some more ways. But that was the first one on my list. All right? Okay. So next thing on your list it's probably two different things, but we're going to make them one because I like the number 3 more than I like the number 4. Okay? So 3 secrets looks better than 4 secrets in the title. So we're going to roll with that, okay? Secret number 3 is house hacking and work exchanges. Okay? So house hacking, you may know, house hacking is where people, my basic understanding as not a real estate investor, right? As a person who is not a real estate investor, what I understand house hacking to be is moving into a home that can give you income. So you move into a duplex and you own the duplex, and the rent from the other half pays for the whole house, right? Or you share accommodation. Two families move together and share the cost of accommodation, right? That's my basic of understanding of house hacking, okay? But what I call house sitting also house hacking, because there are house sitters out here in the world who are house sitting long term and do not have to worry about paying for accommodation. I consider that house hacking too. I also consider it genius. Some women, not too long ago, I did a video where I called something about house sitters secrets, something like that. House sitters something. And I invited women from this YouTube channel who are house sitting to jump on live and talk about house sitting. And a young woman in California said, "Oh, I don't pay rent. It's been a year. I've been house sitting for a full year in California. Thank you." And I was like, "Yes, you're welcome, and you're doing it right." Okay. I don't usually tell people when they're doing something wrong, but this young lady was doing it right. I'm sorry, right now I can't remember her name. Yes, use house sitting as a way to not have to pay for accommodation. I also consider that house hacking, right? You can house sit in some parts of the US is pretty easy to house sit full time, long term, to house sit without having to work a place to stay. We're just stacking back to back house sits. California is one of those states, right? The New York City metropolitan area, Washington, D.C. area, Atlanta, Georgia area. I believe Dallas and the greater Dallas area, and I believe Chicago. If you live in or around these places or live and work around those places or just want to visit, these are places where you can house sit back to back to back to back to back and not pay for accommodation. You could also, if you're free, if your job lets you be wherever, you can house sit wherever, right? You don't have to stick to your state. But house sitting and house hacking, I think, are best kept secrets of sabbaticals. A couple of years ago, oh gosh, maybe before the pandemic, I had a one-on-one call with a woman who was like, "Oh, she might still be here. Oh, yeah, I'm on sabbatical. Yeah, I've house sat. She started somewhere in the Midwest and worked her way out to the East Coast. Yeah, I just take a house sit in the next place, right? And that's how I get from place to place. And yeah, I'm traveling and house sitting and living my dreams. And that was several years ago. Um, so house sitting plus house hacking. I know less about house hacking, but house sitting would also fit in the house hacking category for me, right? But if you already, okay, so house hacking, as I said, my understanding is you already have an accommodation where you can get income from it. But remember, if you're going on sabbatical and you're leaving your home to go on sabbatical, you could just rent out that place anyway, right? And then house hacking, even if it's not a duplex, even if it's not a multifamily dwelling, you could still just rent it out to strangers, to relatives, to friends. You could still rent it out. That's still house hacking, even if you're not there. That house is bringing you income. And for some of you, that income would be enough to live on. You got into your house several years ago when when the imaginary money, right? When when dollars look different. And now your neighborhood, your house, that property is worth a whole lot more. Well, maybe when you rent it out, it would be enough not only to cover your monthly mortgage or rent, but also cover your sabbatical. I went to Nashville for a meetup the summer before last, and one of the women, that's what she was doing, right? Her home had increased in value so much that renting out her home as it was enough money to cover the mortgage, the monthly mortgage, and her monthly living expenses in wherever she was going. I don't remember where she was going. Okay. I would kind of consider that location arbitrage, right? Going from a more expensive place to a less expensive place with the same amount of money will take you far. Okay. How are we doing in the comments? Tia says, let me see, this might be the second comment of Tia's. Okay. Tia, I inherited a tenant and instantly went into the deal making money. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. That's nice. That's nice with just renting out one unit. And now I have both units rented out. Real estate can be hacked and whacked as many ways as a human can think of. Okay. Good, Tia. Okay. All right. So, are you sitting on the money that would take you on sabbatical, right? It's just your house, your condo, your apartment, your townhouse, right? Are you sitting on the money, the sabbatical money right there? Okay, Jacqueline says excellent house hacking points. Okay, thank you. Okay, so house hacking is a thing I'm not very qualified to give you answers on. Okay, so you're gonna have to find the answers. But what I do know is the house sitting and the work exchanges. So we're gonna move into the second part of this, which is house sitting for free accommodation, but not most house sits are unpaid because most house sits are through platforms like Trusted House Sitters and House Carers and Mind My House, right? So you're not getting paid, you're just getting free accommodation, right? But free accommodation to me is like money, right? Money's not real anyway, but the free place to stay is real. So to me, it counts, all right? As it is, it's not pay, but it's compensation, right? That free accommodation is compensation. But there is a thing out there in the world that will give you dollars as compensation, and it's called work exchanges. We haven't talked about work exchanges in quite a while. If you're tired and you need time to do absolutely nothing, work exchanges aren't the best option. But if you're at a place where you just want something new and some adventure, I would consider a work exchange. I have a couple of older videos on this channel talking about my own work exchange and interviewing women who have had work exchange, who have gone on work exchanges. So if you go to my channel and search work exchange, you'll see that. What is a work exchange? It's where you do 3, 4, 5 hours of work, usually 5 hours of work for someone every day in exchange for a free room and board. So you get the free place to stay and you get meals. What I did for work exchange is during that gap year during that gap year where I mostly spent my time in Asia, I flew down to Australia and I worked for a family who had 2 young children. I stayed in their home in a bedroom. I stayed in the oldest boy's bedroom. They doubled the boys up. I stayed in the oldest boy's bedroom for 2 months. I think it was 2 months. And I got the kids, I was their part-time nanny. I got the kids up, dressed, ready for school. I was supposed to oversee them making the beds, but I would just make the bed because it was easier. I was supposed to make sure they did their morning chores, but honestly, I just did their morning chores, okay? I packed their lunch, fed them, made their breakfast and packed their lunch, put them in the car, picked up some other kids, drove the carpool, drove them to school. And then I had the day. The rest of the day was mine. And the car. They gave me the second car to use, right? The day and the car were mine. And then when school was out, I went back, I picked the kids up, dropped off the carpool kids, brought the other 2 back home. That was my work exchange. In an expensive place like Australia, it was crazy. It was a crazy good deal for me. Australia is expensive. I had gone from Cambodia, where I was probably spending $25 a day without even trying to be cheap, right? To Australia, where I don't even know if $80 a day would have covered me living in a dorm room, in a hostel, in a bunk bed, right? Even $80, and wanting to drink a cup of coffee and have a beer, and right, $80 a day would not have covered my food and accommodation. So the amount of work that I did for them was a fair exchange for me. Now, doing that kind of work in Cambodia was not a fair exchange because in Cambodia, right, like I said, $25 a day and I was balling, right? And so we're doing work exchanges, if you have a dream of going to a more expensive place, is wonderful. Okay, anybody have any work exchange experience? I did my work exchanges through Workaway, which is not linked in the description of this video yet. But if you're watching the replay, hello friends in the future. I hope the future is amazing. If you go to the description of this video, there's a link to Workaway. Okay, so work exchange websites are Workaway, helpx.net, workaway.info, helpx.net, and woof.org, WWOOF.org. Okay, this is a place where you want to go to. I think work exchanges are great for people who want to go to another country and want to meet some people, right? And want to do a little something. right? Maybe you've done a period of rest in your sabbatical. You've mixed in some things. You've had a period of rest in your sabbatical, but you also want to do something. Try something new. Nanny work was very new for me, having been like a foster sister. My parents were foster parents when I was a kid, so I had lots. I know about kids, right? It wasn't like she had to teach me how to talk to children. I know kids, but it was a different type of work. A lot of work exchange work includes working in hostels and working in hotels, working in places like that. Hostels in particular are known for giving you a free place to stay, even though it's probably a shared room, a bunk room, right? Giving you a free place to stay in exchange for you doing housekeeping for so many hours a day or working the front desk for so many hours a day. But Rashida and I interviewed Kenya Ramsey in 2019 about her work exchange, and she went to Spain and worked on a farm I think she picked olives on a farm for a couple hours a day, 3, 4 hours a day, right? In exchange for that, she lived on the farm, which was owned and run by a chef, and the chef cooked wonderful meals for them every day. And she just got to be on a farm in Spain, just the rest of the time relaxing and chilling and meeting other people. And there was a man involved, and right? If you want to do a little adventuring, a little eat, pray, loving, a little, let's see what a whole different life would look like for me. I think work exchanges are underutilized. Part of that is my own fault. Okay. Because I haven't talked about it in quite a while. Once I discovered house sitting, I dropped work exchanges personally for house sitting. But what work exchanges can do for you, work exchanges, I think, can do more for you than house sitting for some people. If you want to meet people and you want to be a social butterfly, you want to say, "Oh, I have friends on 6 continents." I don't know if you can have friends on all 7 continents, but I got friends on 6 continents. Work exchanges can do that for you. Um, Teaching, I just see a comment about teaching ASL. Teaching people things. Most work exchanges, probably most, are physical labor, but quite a few of them are teach my family English. We're a family in, I can't, I like, what country would it be? We're a family in Greece. We live on this little Greek island. Life is pretty simple for us, but we need to learn English. So you stay in our house for 6 weeks, and you speak English with us. I've seen a lot of those. I'm not making this up, okay? I've seen a lot of those. This was pre-pandemic, so I don't know how the work exchange industry made out during the pandemic. I'm trying to get comfortable. My back hurts. I don't know. My back is just aging. Parts of me are aging. So, um, what was I saying? I've seen those, right? Teach people English. I think most of them are work on our farm picking things. Most of them are probably, most are pick things, right? A second would be stay in our home. Second would be teaching English, whether it's in a home or in a school, and third would be second, yeah, teaching English. Third would be housekeeping in our establishment, housekeeping or waitressing in our establishment. I may have those out of order, but those are the top three. Those are the top three types of work exchanges that you see. I see yoga. Okay, yoga and water. Rhonda says, okay, I've been drinking a lot of water, but I do need to do some yoga. Yoga teaching, I've seen work exchanges for come to our hotel or our resort. You teach yoga for X number of classes per week, you get a free place to stay in the resort, right? Yeah, so helpx.net, workaway.info is the one I used, and WWOOF.org are the 3 work exchange websites that I know of. Okay? Okay, yoga and water. Got you. Okay, friends. I drink a lot of water. I drink water constantly all day, but I think part of it is just working. I sit in the bed and work a lot in my laptop, and that's not good. I probably need to sit in my more structured chair more often. Okay? And go get a massage. Okay, I can do that too. I can do that too. I fly to London with my parents on next, I don't know, Saturday or Friday? I don't really know. Next week sometime, but I may be able to do it before then. And then we're going to London and then Morocco, and I'm definitely getting a whole lot of body things done in Morocco. Massages and spa things, treatments and whatever they want to do to me, they can do to me in Morocco. When I walk in that hammam, I'm theirs. Okay. Adelia said she came out of the hammam and her skin just felt new. She said she couldn't stop touching herself. I can't wait. Whatever they want to do, they can do it. I don't wrap me, uh, beat me with leaves. I don't care what they do. Put stones on me. I don't care. I expect to come away from Morocco, from Marrakesh, feeling like a new body, like I have a new body. So that's good. Okay, Cherie, thank you for this information. You're welcome, Cherie. It's so good to know about these things. We're spreading the word. We're spreading the word. All right. So how did we do on that section of work exchanges? Dia, wow, these work exchanges sound like just the right fit for me. Thank you for making me aware of this. You're welcome. Okay. You're welcome. We're spreading the word. Okay. So we talked about the work exchanges, and I want to slip in a second. No, we're going to save that for the next section. Okay. So then let's double back to house sitting. House sitting is the thing that stole me away from work exchanges, because house sitting require a whole lot less work. But with house sits, you have to pay for your own food, right? Work exchanges don't pay you cash. House sitting doesn't pay you cash. They give you free accommodation, and work exchanges give you free food, but house sitting does not. Okay. So let's double back to house sitting. Okay. I have a new house sitter toolkit that can give you access to I house sit through trusted house sitters. No surprise. I house sit through trusted house sitters. And that is how I find the clients that I'm going to house sit for. And the letter that I use, the pitch email that I use to get booked is in my new house sitter toolkit, along with my affiliate link to Trusted House Sitters. So you can join Trusted House Sitters using my link because I'm the one who told you about them. And they give me a little cut. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but they give me a commission. And then I have some links to some other things that I use to be comfortable on house sits, like food delivery apps and stuff. Okay? Diara, I did my first house sit a week ago in the next town over. The day I got back, I booked my second house sit for London. Yay! Okay? Secret. Best kept secret. House sitting is the sabbatical, the Black woman sabbatical, best kept secret. Okay? We're out here house sitting. Okay? We're out here house sitting. We're out here staying in people's homes and taking care of their homes and pets while they're away in exchange for free accommodation. All right, Diara's going to be in a London flat or something without paying for a London flat, right? With house sitting, you pay to get yourself there. You pay for your transportation. You pay for your food. But that accommodation is all yours, okay? That free accommodation is all yours. You know what I'm saying. All I can think about is my back hurts. All right, so Shia, this is a choice for people with children because people house sit with children. It's good news. I'm telling you, house sitting has changed the game. There are Black women out all wherever they want to be in the world with their partners, with their children, with their other pets, with their friends, with their moms, right? Staying in places that they didn't pay for because of house sitting. You do need to be a friend to animals. Doesn't have to be all animals, but you do need to be a friend to animals for house sitting for you to be able to get book house sits at will. At this point, I feel like you can book house sits at will if you're willing to pet sit, even if you have children. You will get rejections. Everybody gets no's, and everybody gets some just silence. Nobody just replied to my application at all. But you will get yeses. House sitting is the best kept secret. I'm not keeping it a secret though. Okay, it's only a secret because you're new here. Okay. If house sitting has been a secret to you, it's because you're new here. Welcome. Because I've not been keeping it a secret. I can't. I can't keep it to myself. DRS says Stephanie's house sitter toolkit got me past the hesitation and judging eyes from my family. Okay, good. Yeah. It's weird, okay? It's strange. You're going to stay in some stranger's house while they're gone. It's strange and it's weird. All right? And so you need to know people who are doing it so it doesn't seem less so it seems a little less weird, a little less scary. We're normalizing it. Okay? Aw, treasured remembrance. I'm house sitting with my 8-year-old son. We love it. Where? Can you give us any more info? Is this your first house sit? Where is it? What animal are you taking care of? Do you want to tell us? Or if you have a video on your channel about it, just tell us and we'll find it on your channel. Okay? Okay. Can you house sit with pets? Yeah. Some people are going to say no, right? Sometimes you're going to apply for a house sit and they're going to say no. But plenty of people house sit with their pets. And I tell this all the time. So in Mexico, I had regular clients. In Lake Chapala, Mexico, I had regular clients who I house sat for because they also were house sitters. So they would get an awesome house sit. They had a daughter who lived in the Bay Area and they liked to come back and visit their daughter in the Bay Area. So they lived in Mexico. They retired and moved to Mexico, but they liked to go back to the Bay Area to visit their daughter. So they would get a lovely house sit in the Bay Area so that they could go visit their daughter. Sometimes the house sitting client would let them bring their little dog Ruby, who was the most adorable. She was rowdy. She wasn't bad. She was a good dog, but she looked like a little stuffed animal. And then she would do something mischievous, and I'd be like, I forgot. You're an actual dog. You're not a stuffed animal. Then she'd go harass the mailman, and I'd be like, Ruby. I thought cute dogs would just sit around. Anyway, sometimes they would take Ruby to their Bay Area house sits. Sometimes they couldn't, and then they would bring me in to house sit for them while they went and house sat for someone else. Okay, so in the description of this video, I've linked to my new house sitter toolkit, and I'll link to it here in the live stream. So there are a lot of things that you think, oh, I can't house sit because that are going to be okay. Somebody's going to be fine with it. I can't house it because I have an 8-year-old. I'm guessing that the family that who was that? Who was our 8-year-old? Who's house sitting with our 8-year-old? I lost you that quick. I'm guessing that the family that Treasured Remembrance is house sitting for, that they also had children. And they were like, sure, the kid's bedroom is empty, right? And we know our pet loves children, right? That's a concern, right? So some people won't want a house sitter to come with a child because they don't know what their dog's going to do. I don't know. Does he like kids? I don't even know. Or, right, like my sofa is white. No, you're not bringing your kids. But if this is a household that already has children, they're, I think, much more likely to say yes because the house is used to kid friendly. So it's going to be good. Okay, treasured remembrance. Next one starts Monday for 3 weeks. Cabin lakeside property in Tennessee. I'll be in Austin late May and North Carolina all June. I'm so excited for you. I'm so happy. Did I do that? Did I do that? Did I introduce you to house sitting or is it something y'all were already doing? Serious question. I have lots of questions for you. All right. House sitting. The career break, Black woman career break, best kept secret. Okay. I'm going to pause for the cause for just a second. Hi, Sandy. Yes, we're doing a meetup in London on April 18th, which is very soon. We're doing a meetup in London. Rashida and I are going to be in London on April 18th. Rashida is my business partner in the Exodus Summit business. Okay. I have to say things because there's a lot of new subscribers here. I've had new subscribers because of my Instagram video thing. So Rashida and I both are passing through London on our way to Morocco. She's already in England, but we're both passing through at the same time. We're going to do a meetup on April 18th. If you want the details, get in the Exodus Summit Facebook community, okay? Exodus Summit Facebook community is for Black women planning their sabbatical or their move abroad or their digital nomad life. So go ahead and get in the Exodus Summit Facebook community so that you will see the details of the April 18th meetup in London. April 18th in London. We're meeting up, I think, next week in Delaware at Rehoboth Beach. Tashira, are you here? Tashira and I need to come up with a time and date, but I think next week we're going to meet in Rehoboth Beach. Um, Rehoboth Beach, London, Morocco for the big shebang, which is more than a meetup. It's a big deal. And then I'll be in Joshua Tree and San Diego, California after that. Okay. I did a whole video on where I'll be on Instagram. So it's probably easier to watch my Instagram live stream, the latest live stream on my Instagram, which explains where I'll be and when. Or actually, it's probably easy. My Instagram.com/vacaries. Okay. This is my Instagram. Go ahead and follow me anyway, no matter what, whether you want to meet up or not. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram. Thanks. And then if you're in the Exodus Summit community, just go to events in the Exodus Summit Facebook community. Go to events. Meetups are happening. We now do that. Okay? Meetups are happening with me, with Rashida, without me, without Rashida. Okay? Y'all are getting to know each other and form community with one another. We have discovered the power of having somebody on your side. Okay? So we just saw the comment about my family was like, uh, this is this is weird. What are you doing? And the toolkit helped overcome that um, family judgment, right? A better way to overcome those reactions from people is to have positive reactions from people who already get it. And the people who already get it are in the Exodus Summit Facebook community or in whatever community you need for you, right? Wherever people are having the conversations uh, about the things you're moving towards, right? Get in community with those people. So get in the Exodus Summit Facebook community, and you'll see the events section at the top. When you join the Facebook group, there's a featured section, right? And in the featured section, one of the featured posts is about events. So you just click on that. You'll see the events that are coming. You'll see quite a few events just happened over February and March. But don't be discouraged. Meetups are still happening. We're still doing it. We're still doing it because we have found how important it is to have community with like-minded women, with women who are into what you're into, with Black women who are into what you're into, with Black women who are prioritizing the things that you're prioritizing. So just because a meetup has passed in your area doesn't mean that's it. It's not too late, okay? Okay, yeah, Rehoboth Beach, Rehoboth or Dewey, I don't know what day. Tashira may not be here, so Tashira and I are supposed to be figuring out a day. And then, but we only have until Thursday next week. So I think it's going to happen, but you're going to have very little notice. I'm sorry. That's just how it worked out. So get into the Exodus Summit community and look at the events tab. Okay. Thanks, friends. Yeah. Hope you'll pop in. Okay. We'll sit down, eat some seafood if you eat seafood. Okay. Treasure Remembrance says, yes, it is all because of me. Thank you. I just want to know if I can take the credit. Okay. I just want to know if I can take the house sitting credit. I will from here on. Okay. You and your 8-year-old living your dreams. I'm taking the credit. Okay. I just want you to know that. I needed to confirm that I can do that. It makes me feel so good, right? It makes me feel so good to know that you get to do this awesome thing, right? I'm taking I want to take the credit, so let me know. Keep me posted. Okay, everybody. This is for everyone. Keep me posted so I can continue to take credit for things. Okay. Kemi, I'd like a camping meetup in San Antonio. Kemi, you need to get in the community and say, really, what's happening? Nobody is in charge of a city. This is not like some organizations yet. Okay, I'm saying this April of 2023. Okay, right now we don't have like a captain in charge of a place. Right now, the way the meetups are happening is someone saying, "Hey, I'd like to meet up on this date at this restaurant in this city. Who coming?" That's basically how the meetups have gotten together. Hello, I'm a member of Exodus Summit. I want to meet some of y'all. Let's do it, right? Danica thought that she had to have a meetup Danica lives in Huntsville, Alabama, but she thought that there were nobody's going to want to meet up in Huntsville, so she hosted a meetup in Nashville, which is not that far. I drove it, but I don't remember. I'm going to go with an hour, hour and a half. I don't think it was 2 hours away. It might have been 2 hours away though, right? And then she raised her hand about a Huntsville meetup, and there was 5 or 6 women there, right? 5 or 6 women got together in Huntsville, Alabama for a meetup. So all you have to do is, what I'm saying is, as of today, all you have to do is open up your mouth and say, hey, I'm in this town. Who wants to meet up? Now, could that change in the future? Sure, sure. At some point, we may decide that we need to be more organized. But at this point, Rashida and I have no interest in being more organized about this because I'm not going to do it. She's not going to do it. Francis has other things to do. So the way things stand right now, the way you meet up with other Exodus Summit women is that you say, hey, I want to meet up with other Exodus Summit women. And it can be whatever. Some women have gone to, there's a festival coming somewhere that there's a meetup planned about. Sometimes it's just at a restaurant. Oh, is it 3 hours? Ah, she came a distance. Okay. Right? Deborah, shout out to the Jacksonville meetup crew. They've had multiple meetups in the last few weeks. Like in no time, they've had, I think Katrina said 3 meetups, right? The Jacksonville crew is not playing, okay? They're bonding, they're communitying, they're communing, they're sisterhooding, okay? They're not playing. We got to get back on subject. We got to get back on topic, okay? We got to get back on topic. Okay, so number one career break secret for Black women on a budget is using savings and investments to fund your career break. Number two was house hacking and work exchanges and free accommodation. Okay, I lumped them all together. I think that should have been 2 different points, but y'all understand what I'm saying. Okay, so getting free accommodation and or free room and board means that you can do it on a whole lot less. It means that you can mix it up even. You could take a whole lot of time where you're paying for your accommodation and you're paying for luxury, right? Maybe you're going to take some time and do some luxury stuff because you know that you can also get some free accommodation on the end. You can get treated, pampered, right? JW Marrioted. We had such a wonderful time at the JW Marriott in Cancun. You can take some time and do some serious spoiling of yourself, some serious treating yourself, pampering yourself, putting yourself first, doing some selfish season stuff, right? And because houses and work exchanges got your back. When that money starts to run low, you know what to do. That's what I did during my sabbatical. When something happened, so I drowned my phone accidentally. This was back in the iPhone 5S days. I drowned my iPhone 5 and I had to replace my phone when I was in the Philippines. And so I bought a brand new, not a brand new, but a new iPhone 5. But this was 2015. Bought a new iPhone 5 in the Philippines. So that was $300, $400 I hadn't anticipated spending. So what did I do? Got a work exchange. Because for me at the time, $300 was like a full month's accommodation, right? I was spending $16 a day. So $480 was my full accommodation budget for the month. So when I needed that $300, either I could cut my trip shorter on the end, right? And go home a little earlier, get a job, which was not, that plan didn't sound good to me. Or I could get an extra work exchange. That's where that Cambodia work exchange came from. Get an extra work exchange where I was going to get free room and board. So I did that, worked out. Had the money to buy a new phone, and didn't have to come home any earlier. Okay, so we can mix things up. Rashida, I think during her career break, stayed almost only in hotels. I think I might be confused about that. Hotels and Airbnb. She didn't do hostels. She didn't do work exchanges. She didn't do, right? I think she stayed in hotels mostly, right? We can mix things up. do a full season of rest and a full season of work exchanges and adventure and exploring and trying new things, right? Okay. How do you become a member of Exodus Summit? You go to exodussummit.com/community. It's a Facebook group. It's just a Facebook group, and you request to join. It's for Black women only. If your profile is very private and your profile photo doesn't indicate that you're a Black woman, you may not get into the community. I'm telling you, we have to be careful. We haven't seen it in a long time, but what we see on this channel is people who get really upset when they see Black women doing what they want. And they make it their mission for at least a few hours to hate on us. We don't allow that in the community. The Exodus Summit community is a wonderful place. And we keep it a wonderful place by restricting it to Black women only. And so Facebook has to indicate that you're a Black woman. Zafira, what did I do for my Cambodia work exchange? I'm so glad you asked. This was a work exchange that wasn't worth my time, but I didn't know that until later. I'm telling you this so that you'll know, okay? In Cambodia, because I could live a full life on $24 a day or so, it really didn't make sense for me to work 4 hours a day in exchange for free room and board. And then it turns out that the person I did the work exchange for, his reviews were a little deceptive. He actually did not feed me. He gave me a free accommodation, but he didn't give me the free food he was supposed to give me. I paid for all of my food. So all that is, I want to preface this Cambodia work exchange with that. We need to read reviews and be more discerning. This was before I understand how people, this is before I understood how people write reviews. And if they're not glowing, then I'm not doing it, right? A basic review, it was good and it was fine. There's something behind that review that they don't want to say. I now only listen to reviews that are like, amazing, I'm coming back. I almost don't want to write this review because I don't want y'all to know how awesome this was, right? Those are the kind of reviews that I pay attention to now. Whereas back in the day when I signed up for the Cambodia Work Exchange, I didn't. As long as he had good reviews, I was fine with it. Okay, so what did I do? Here's what I did. I worked on a farm. I worked on an organic cricket farm. The farmer was French. He was not Cambodian. He was a white man, right? Which was first red flag. He was not a Cambodian farmer. He was just a Frenchman who bought a farm in Cambodia. But he farmed crickets because crickets are a source of, I think, protein and iron and magnesium, right? Some protein powders that use animal protein are using cricket powder because crickets are easier to grow, shorter lifetime to get the cricket to maturity, and they don't require a whole lot of water. And so it's easy on land resources and it's not like beef farming takes up a lot of land, a lot of water, creates a lot of methane, right? Cricket farming, pretty environmentally friendly. So I worked on an organic cricket farm. I only wrote letters. He was French and he needed someone who could write letters for him in English. That my real job was to communicate with NGOs. Here's what he was French, but he was trying to get, because he lived in Cambodia, he was trying to get money as though he was a Cambodian farmer. I didn't like him. I left the exchange early. Okay, I'm telling you that. This was the only work exchange experience that was bad. Okay. So my real job was just to write letters for him in English. But what he did all day was he raised the crickets, right? And then, they were in these like long beds. He had like a greenhouse looking thing, and they were in these long beds. Every now and then he would take a whole tray of crickets and just freeze them alive, freeze them to death. And then dump the frozen crickets into the blender, blend them into a powder. No, he would dry them first, freeze them, then dry them out in the sun. Take the thing out of the freezer and just dry it in the sun. And then dump them into this blender and blend them into a powder and sell the powder. My job though wasn't that. I would do it. I would work. I would be hanging out alongside him because I'm there, right? If he's blending crickets, I'll be there. I'll do it. But my real job was writing letters for him in English to NGOs to get their attention. I He wanted some sort of, I don't know that he wanted money, but he wanted like a verification that he was a farmer, an organic farmer in Cambodia. Okay, so he was not a good person. I didn't like him. From the second I got there, I didn't like him. Um, I don't ask a lot of questions ahead of time. So I don't ask a lot of questions. Um, so I didn't know what he was up to. But Cambodia, 4 star. Cambodia was not a 5 star destination, but Cambodia was 4 stars because when I left him, when I left my work exchange early, packed my stuff and went and got out. I can't remember how I left because it wasn't a place where you could get. He must have driven me. I guess he had a motorcycle and I had my suitcases and stuff. So I guess I told him I was leaving. In my mind, I just packed my stuff and left and he didn't hear from me again. But I must have told him I was leaving early. Anyway, then I went into a hotel with a room of my own, not a hostel, because I've been staying in hostels back then. Not a hostel, a hotel with a room of my own and a swimming pool. And it was Cambodia, but it looked a lot like Bali, right? And the just the surrounding hotel, not the town, but the hotel, right? The town is dry. That part of Cambodia was very dry. This was Siem Reap. But the place around the hotel surroundings looked like Bali. I was probably paying $12 a night. $12 a night for a solo hotel room with a pool and beautiful grounds. So that's when I realized I needed to weigh the cost of the work I'm doing, the value of the work I'm doing with what I'm getting in exchange. The work I did in Australia, I made out like a bandit, I think, because food in Australia is expensive. Beer in Australia is expensive. Coffee, everything in Australia is expensive. Plus the accommodation, plus the car they let me use. I made out like a fat rat, right? But in Cambodia, opposite. He made out like a fat rat. Okay? So I don't know. I feel like I told you the Cambodia story. I think I finished it. I hope I finished the Cambodia story. So living on the cricket farm, doing the work in another place where I liked the farmer and maybe where there was another worker. If there had been another person there who I did like, it would have been a little better, right? If there had been two of us, one helping the farmer and me doing the writing, that might have made things better. This was also a place that didn't have running water. Remember, these were the days, okay? These were the days when I needed to stick to my travel budget. I needed that work exchange to stick to my travel budget. So he didn't have running water. So the shower was a bucket of water and a cup. So you dip your cup in the water and you put the water on you, and then you soap up, and then you dip the cup back in the water and you rinse off, all right? That was the shower. So I don't remember the toilet. Must have had a flushing toilet though. Or I don't remember the toilet being atrocious. So I was at a place in my life, okay, where that made sense to me. Totally made sense, right? Either I shower with this bucket or I go back and get a job. But remember that this was before house sitting. House sitting changed everything. I haven't done a work exchange since house sitting because, child, the life. I want to swim in their swimming pool, right? I don't want to be, right? But for some of us, that adventure is worth it. The family that I met in Australia, worth it. This story about Cambodia, probably, the story alone was probably worth the experience because I don't think I was there for 10 days. I was probably supposed to be there for a month. And I don't remember. It's hard to remember. Maybe 3 weeks and I made it to something like that. It was not even as fun as camping because I didn't like him, right? With camping, High Vibe says that sounds like camping. With camping, hopefully you're with someone you like. Someone who you want to sit around and talk with for a little while. That was not, I didn't like him. I did not like him, right? And then the fan, my real, and then another problem, my real like problem with the accommodation. So I didn't have a whole lot of problem with the accommodation. I knew he didn't have running water when I got there, but the fan, electricity went out all the time, and of just trying to sleep under a mosquito net. Right, I had the whole upstairs of the house to myself. There was nothing there, but there was no furniture. It was a bed, may not even been a real bed, maybe some mattresses or something. I think it was a real bed. And then the mosquito netting from the ceiling. So I had to get a system of getting under the mosquito net. Right. You have to turn on the fan and turn off the light, right? And then get under the mosquito net without letting in any mosquitoes. Take my little bat, those little electrified bats, and kill any mosquitoes that are in there in order to get a good night's sleep. And then half the nights there was no electricity and the fan would just stop working and it was stiflingly hot. So camping is better, I think, because hopefully you're camping with somebody that you want to talk to and that you like. That's the main difference. That's the main difference. I think that adventure time, and as a grown person is underrated, right? Have some stories to tell. If nothing else, come away with some stories to tell. Mix it up. Mix it up. On my sabbatical, I did a whole lot of nothing. The best skill I came away with was how to sit in a hammock and not fall over, how to get into and out of a hammock. I mastered that. I also mastered the tripod selfie, how to set my little mini tripod up, put my camera, my phone in there, and take a good selfie, right? I mastered the tripod selfie. I did a whole lot of nothing. But I also did some helpful work things, right? So I worked for him. I worked for that family. I worked for another couple in Australia with their dogs. They were dog breeders, and part of my job was to make the dogs food every day because the dogs ate like gourmet. Part of my job was to put delicious food in a crock pot for dogs, right? Yeah, it's about meeting people and meeting yourself, right? Knowing what I can and can't do. Hospital pharmacy technician Stephanie would never even imagine that I would be fine staying in places with no electricity, no running water, no shower. That sounds like not like me. But I did it, and it was me for that period of time. I'm not saying I'm interested in doing that today, but during that period of time, it was me. I could do it. It was interesting. Some of it was really fun. I even paid to stay in places with no running water. In part of somewhere in the Philippines, on one island in the Philippines, not not Palawan. I went to an island a little bit above Palawan that was famous for its snorkeling, so that I could go on one of the most amazing day tour. But I'm on a strict budget, right? This is a place that is more like travelers with money, not big money, but like travelers who can afford a hotel. I couldn't afford a hotel. I stayed in a family's home, and they didn't have any running water. She gave me a bucket and a cup, and she was a very nice lady. The house was on stilts. It was in a water. It was on the water, right? That whole part of town was on the water, and it was a house on stilts. All the houses are on stilts. Like if I step on a board wrong, I am wet. I am in the ocean, right? House on stilts. Nice lady with a little boy who was probably 3 or 4. Bed was comfortable. I don't remember too much about it, but no water. Here's the bathroom. It was a bucket and a little cup. Okay, thank you. Right? In a place where it was 90 some degrees all day. Bucket and a cup. All right. We're not on topic. We're not on topic. Y'all know I love to talk. You know I love to talk. If you're new here, I wish I could tell you that sometimes I'm more organized, but it's always like this. Okay, welcome. Welcome. Donna. Hi, Donna. I did a work exchange in England when I was 16. I loved it. 8 weeks of UK travel, very affordable. Yes. Good. Right? Adventure time as an adult can be as simple as going on a website like workaway.info and seeing who needs somebody to come and stay with them for a while. And what do they want you to do? Do they want you to just speak English all day? Do they want you to change sheets in their hostel? Do they want you to pick olives from the olive trees because it's in season, right? What do they want and what are they offering? Okay. Number one secret of career breaks for Black women on a budget: investments and savings to fund your sabbatical. Number two secret, work exchanges and house hacking to bring your costs down. Down. Right? Number three secret is that some women are working during the sabbatical. They're just not doing their job. They're not doing the career work. They're doing a different type of work. So speaking of, that sounds like camping. There are people who go and live on campgrounds and on national parks in their resorts and work for them and get a free, or I shouldn't say free accommodation, get some sort of accommodation on those resorts. And it's just a break from what you're used to. So I'm going to send you to a site called CoolWorks. CoolWorks, CoolWorks. The link is in the description of this video. I'm not an affiliate for them or anything, but years ago I interviewed Shell Nelson on this channel. Shell is a grown adult woman, but young adult woman, single, who goes to resorts every winter and works on ski resorts all winter season long. She gets to ski for free, all the skiing you can stand, while she's working on ski resorts. She works on resorts that subsidize housing, so she does still have to pay for accommodation, but it's not a regular rate. It's a subsidized worker rate. And she stays with other workers to share expenses. CoolWorks is the website that I know that does this. And they've been advertised. They advertised something the other day that I was like, even I would do this. And you know I don't want no job. It was a small inn near one of the national parks that I haven't been to. I haven't been to a lot. Glacier National Park, I think. A small inn near one of the most beautiful places. Was it Glacier National Park? And they just wanted somebody to work the front desk and do housekeeping. It was a small inn, so I'm assuming 5, 6 rooms, right? And you get one of the rooms. Work the front desk and do housekeeping. You get to stay in the inn, right? So these aren't work exchanges. This is an actual job. But the number 3 secret of Black women on sabbaticals is a lot of Black women are taking a sabbatical from their work, but still working a job to make money, right? Shell comes away at the end of the season with a stash of cash. And then she can take I think she leaves winter season. She doesn't work anywhere spring season. And then in the summer, she works Martha's Vineyard. She gets to take spring and fall off, right? We're not talking amazing money, but we're talking a place where you can live just in the most beautiful places. You know what I mean? Time to spend time in some of the most beautiful places in the country, out in nature, and skiing or swimming or whatever the season, whatever's in season, surfing. I don't know. Do we have surfing in Martha's Vineyard? I don't know what they do out there, right? But taking some time where you don't do your same job, but you do something different so that you can earn enough money to eat, right? Shell basically just needs to earn enough money to eat, and then the rest of her money is hers. She came away with 5 figures because tips are a thing, right? In those jobs, she comes away with 5 figures after every season, but I can't remember what. Are we talking $10,000 at the end of the season? $40,000? I don't know. It's been such a long time since I've watched that video over again. But as a single woman without a whole without any other expenses, right? She got to pay for her cell phone and pay to get her hair done, I'm sure, right? All of the money she earns during this, and because she's sharing accommodation with other workers, all the rest of the money that she earns is hers. So, working during a sabbatical, as far as I'm concerned, still counts. Still counts as a sabbatical. Shauna, I had an offer through CoolWorks to work as a hotel desk clerk in Seward, Alaska for $12 an hour and reduced lodging. Okay, so we're not talking big bucks. You're not going to get rich on this, but you can eat, right? $12 an hour, you can eat. Yeah. Sometimes the sabbatical is about you leaving, getting away from them people. I understand, right? You will need to get away from them people, but you still need to earn a little money. You need to earn enough money to eat. CoolWorks, okay? Remember, teaching English online is another thing that is very popular among the sabbatical community and the full-time traveler community. Being an English tutor online, again, $12 an hour, right? You're not going to get rich doing it through Cambly. I have a video on my channel about Cambly. You're not going to get rich tutoring English on Cambly, but you're going to eat, right? You're going to make enough money to eat, and you're going to have a job where you talk to people in English, not where you get harassed and beat down and have to prepare yourself before you get out of that car and when you pull up to the job every day, and where you have to sit through meetings and, you know, ball up your fists so tight that you're, breaking through your own skin and have to sit hours and hours in the bathroom, or minutes anyway. We can't spend hours in the bathroom, but minutes. I used to spend, minutes of every day in the bathroom at work, just sitting when I had a job where my job was customer service, right? Talking to customers on the phone and they called me names all day. I was a credit analyst, right? Listen, my break place, my happy place inside of that work building was the bathroom. I sit in that bathroom and just sit, right? Or go to the car. They could see me going to the car though, because of it was a high rise, and they could see me walking out to the car. So I could sit in the bathroom and not get a whole lot of Stephanie, where have you been? Right? Um, if you need some time where you still need a job and you still need to make money, but not with these people, not in this place, not doing this thing, consider these options. CoolWorks, Cambly, where you tutor English online from your phone or your laptop if you're a native English speaker. Those are the two most popular. Auntie Lou, is there an age limit on teaching English? No. Oh, if there is, I haven't heard anybody hit it. If there is, it's not 75, right? Age max. Yeah, no, I have a whole video on my channel on Cambly. I would go look it up, seriously. If the idea of tutoring people around the world in English over your laptop sounds good, and it's mostly just having conversations. There is a form of Cambly where people are paying for instruction, but most people on Cambly are just paying you to have conversations with them. They're nurses in the Philippines. Now, the people in the Philippines already speak English. They're nurses in someplace, Argentina, and they know that they could make more money if they also spoke English. So they need to beef up their English, and they want to talk with you for 20 minutes or an hour a day. Okay? No, and you don't have to be certified to teach on Cambly. This is why I'm pointing you here. This is not a site where you need to have the the TEFL. You don't need, as far as I know, you didn't used to need the TEFL on Cambly, the Teaching English as a Foreign Language certification, right? Because you're tutoring. You're having conversations and you're tutoring. So please go watch my video on this channel. You can leave now if you want. It's okay. Okay. If this is something that sounds interesting to you, you can go ahead and watch the video now. That's how much I want you to take a sabbatical. That's how bad I want you to do it. That's how bad I want you to leave what you're doing now and try a whole new thing that is a whole lot less stressful and a whole lot more open to the possibilities. Because on Cambly, if you're making $12 an hour, maybe you work 15 hours a week. What's 12 times 15? I'm going to do it. 12 times 15 equals $180 a week. So where can you eat? Oh, let's see. Where can you eat on $180 a week? Most places. $180 a week divided by 7. Oh, $25 a day? Yeah, right? So then you decide you're going to house it in Mexico and you're going to teach English on Cambly. Done, right? Your current expenses are covered. Now, is that covering the mortgage for the house that you already have? No, right? So then you need to go back to the house hacking section and figure out how to get money out of the house that you already have, if you have to, right? Maybe your home is paid for. Maybe your lease is over. Maybe you know somebody who's going to move in and take things over for a while. I don't know. But Cambly and house sitting, plus a little bit of savings for backup, right? A little bit of savings for backup. You can have a nice sabbatical. You can have a nice period of time where you don't work, right? I hope that more of us will do it. We, as you know, yes, 180 minus taxes, right? So there are things we need to factor in, right? So maybe instead, that was for 15 hours a week. So maybe you're working 20 hours a week instead, right? Get your number, know your numbers, get your numbers right. How much do you really need? Yeah, so 12 times 15 was 180, but 12 times 24 is more. Y'all thought I was going to do that. I was not going to calculate it. 12 times 24 is more. All right. So, yeah, work it out. Work it out. We don't want to be the person who has to figure it out once an emergent situation happens, right? We don't want to have to figure out how to get time to yourself once your body starts shutting down, once your mind is just exhausted, okay? Instead, we just want to figure it out now, right? So another comment that I saved was, I'm in month 10 of my sabbatical, and rest is absolutely amazing. Trying to figure out how to extend it. I hope I've given you some choices, some options. Okay? Yeah, right? I mean, imagine being on a sabbatical for 10 months and still being like, I need more. That's how it's probably going to be. I'm sorry to tell you. Probably that's how it's going to be. Okay? Because we underestimate just how far gone we are, right? How exhausted we really are, how out of touch with ourselves we really are, how much of a stranger we are in our own minds and bodies. We underestimate that. And once you get some time on your own, you start to see it. It starts to be uncovered. And then you're like, I need more time and more time and more time. But I hope I've given you some answers to how to start it, how to extend it. Okay, so 3 secrets for Black women who need a career break on a budget. Savings and investments including using your retirement money to fund mini retirements. Number 2, house hacking and work exchanges, getting free accommodation and having the accommodation you already have pay for itself while you're gone. Okay? And number 3, work during your sabbatical. It's still a sabbatical. I don't care. You call it what you want. It's still a sabbatical, even if you have to work to earn some money. You're still on sabbatical from that old job, okay? Don't forget to go talk to Janet at your job. Find the Janet at your job who is never there, who knows how to get every speck of benefits that she is owed. Talk to Janet at your job and find out how you can get yours. Get yours as well. Those are the secrets. Okay? All right? We need time as an adult to be with ourselves. We need it. It's crucial. Imagine going to retirement age and not, well, I don't have, you don't have to imagine because you're already doing it, right? You're already doing it. Going to retirement age and never having time where you were the priority. Never having time where you could just say, here's what I'm going to do, here's where I'm going to be. There was always someone else who had a say in what you do. And that someone else was a job, and probably a job who doesn't even care about your well-being, right? Probably a job who couldn't care less if you're at the end of your rope. Imagine, well, I keep saying imagine, but you don't have to imagine that because that's where a lot of us are or were, right? Instead, let's take some time. Let's take a sabbatical. Let's take a career break. Let's rest for ourselves. Even if ourselves includes our children, take them with you. Take your kids with you on sabbatical. They'll love it. They need it to. They'll love it. Rashida and I have interviewed a few women during the 12 days of career breaks video. We interviewed Christina, who was a person I never have. I don't think she out here living. I need to get an update from her. We interviewed Christina, who was like a medical examiner and took a sabbatical with her kids and lived. Oh, I know why she. Okay, lived in a stayed in or did some RV trips with her kids. I know why. Because at the time, I was like, when I interviewed Christine, when I interviewed her, I was like, oh, in an RV with your kids? How awful is that? And she was like, I like my kids. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't fathom. All I could remember was me and my brother bickering all the time. Don't touch me. He's touching me. He's breathing on me. Right? For hours and hours every day. She was like, I like my kids. Okay. But women are out here doing sabbaticals with their kids. Okay? You can just take them with you. Okay? So you don't have to wait on that. If that's your objection, just take them with you. So serious. So serious. Okay? V in Vegas. I've been laid off for 2 months with a good severance, and it has been the best time of my life. Enjoy every second. Squeeze every second out of it. Yes, we don't know. You don't know what you're missing, friends. You just don't know what you're missing. It doesn't sound like it would be all that amazing, but I'm telling you, it's amazing. And the other women are telling you it's amazing because it is. You just don't know yet. You will. You will. Ah, feed your inner chef. I am Janet. I'm working approximately 27 hours per week with contracts, 5 hours per week with my business. It's lovely. Good. Yeah, find that person who knows the details, who knows how to get what you're owed, and get with her or him or be them and get what you're owed. Get the benefits that you're owed. Get that. If you're owed FMLA, get that FMLA. If you're owed medical disability, get it. Get what you're owed. Because somebody's getting it, right? And you not getting it is shorting yourself. Somebody's using those benefits to their benefit. And if you're not, you're shorting yourself. See me, the work I did during my sabbatical turned out to be super stressful and felt more like a regular job. At least I was in a cool location and had fun. What did you do, see me, that turned out to not be a great answer? Let's see. I'm gonna scroll back a little and see if I can see what you did. I did some paid volunteering. Did you say what you did? If you're still here. If you're still here, do you want to tell us what kind of work you did that was super stressful? We need to, so this is a thing, right? So we need to, it's hard to know if it's something that you've never done before, like nanny work, right? If it's something you've never done before, it's hard to know if it's really going to fit you. So you just need to give yourself some outs, right? I didn't commit to anything for more than a few weeks at a time. The nanny work, I think I committed to 1 month, 4 weeks, and then she doubled me, right? But when I got there, it was just 4 weeks. So no matter how bad it is, I know I can leave. Even before 4 weeks are out, if it was bad, I would have left, as you know, from Cambodia. But What I'm saying is, I never said I'm going to go to this place and work with them for 6 months. Everything was like 3, 4 weeks. And then I could extend as I went. And that's what I did in Australia. She sent me on vacation. She was like, I want you to stay longer, but I think you're ready to go. So go to stay with my friend. She sent me, her friend lived in a beautiful place with trees and like, she sent me on vacation to her friend's house. She was like, can you go on vacation? Go stay with her. And then I went to Cairn to the Great Barrier Reef and did some snorkeling. And she was like, and please come back because I still need you. I was like, okay. At this point, we were friends. By that point, we were friends. I was like, okay. She was Dutch. Even though they lived in Australia, she was a Dutch woman. She was a very nice person and still is. And we just had a little catch up on Facebook not too long ago. So all of that to say, remember not to overcommit. If you're an overcommitter in life, right? If you're just a person who does the most, does too much, overcommits to things, maybe work exchanges are not going to be a good choice for you because you're just going to dig into a work exchange that is work. You're not going to find the easiest work exchange. You're not going to do as little as possible. If doing as little as possible is new for you, then maybe we don't do work exchanges because we don't know how to do as little as possible. Okay? Instead, use the other methods. Okay? Yeah, it was very nice of her. So when you are in these worlds, in these spaces, in the house sitting world right now, in the work exchange world, you're mostly coming across people who are good to people. You don't put up a work exchange and let someone come and stay in your home, or house sit and let someone come and stay and take care of your pet without having some interest in connecting with other people and being a community minded, socially connected person, right? You're doing this because you like people, right? You're having someone come stay in your home because you like people, probably. So you find a certain type of person in the work exchange space, in the house sitting space, in the CoolWorks work on a resort space. I think they're hippies is the best, probably the easiest, the most shortest shorthand, right? These are hippie people. These are people who see themselves as an extension of other people, right? Or see other people. I don't know the wording. I don't know the hippie language, but who don't see themselves as an individual as much as they see themselves as part of a collective, right? The work exchange space, you're part of a collective. And so you happen to run into nicer, more generous people. I'm not saying that there's not jerks out there. I think that Frenchman was a jerk, and he was in the work exchange space, taking advantage of the system. But for the most part, you're going to find people who want to work cooperatively. And there's a cooperative mindset that only good people have. Only good people have that cooperative mindset. It's still in house sitting as well. There'll be a time, because house sitting is such an amazing deal. There'll be a time when house sitting clients are jerks. But for now, house sitting clients are wonderful people. They're good people. They're animal lovers. They're people who love their pets and treat their pets like a family member. And they're willing to bring in a stranger because they want their pet to be so comfortable. And they're willing to treat that stranger really well. Yeah, it's a good place to be. It's a good space to be in, a good community to be a part of. Same with work exchanges for now. Maybe it won't always be like that, but for now. It's like the couch surfing crowd, right? Very hippie, very socialist, very we, not me. Yeah. These are the same people. The couch surfing people, the house sitting people, the work exchange people, they're the same people. So a nice, a nice, a nice bunch to be part of. Simi says, I volunteered for a nonprofit doing something too similar to my regular job. Yeah. As soon as I saw a nonprofit, I was like, oh no, yeah. Next time I'll do something very different to have a real break. I would recommend it. That's why I'm talking to you about picking fruit on a farm. Okay? I'm not saying that's easy work. I'm not saying it's fun work. But Kenya seemed to have a good time on that olive farm in Spain, hanging out with other fruit pickers, or I don't know what olives are, and eating food that the chef made, right? Think of it more like hippie. It's a very hippie lifestyle, a very different lifestyle than what she experienced before and after. I just got to meet Kenya in real life in Puerto Rico at the ROI summit. Oh, we should have recorded something. She came and left really fast. Maybe next time. Hopefully she'll be there next time. So after that, Kenya came back after her career break where she was in Spain picking olives and dating and eating at the chef's table, right? On the farm, living on a farm where the chef made their meals, right? And after that, she came back to the U.S. and was working for, I think she worked for an auto manufacturer, and they moved her to Japan. So then she was living the back to business, right? Back to being Miss Business in Japan. Um, her sabbatical was a real break, a real time when she got to be a different person for a while. And then you carry that with you, right? She carried that with her. And now she knows that she doesn't have to stay Miss Business if she doesn't want to. She knows that there's another Kenya out there. There's another Kenya. There's the Kenya who is satisfied getting up and picking olives for hours a day. I think she worked for 3, 4 hours a day picking olives. And then, just like enjoying the countryside in Spain. Yeah, sweet tea. This takes you back to when money wasn't everything. Working the land could get you a lifestyle in a community. Yes, I don't know that we'll ever. The only way that money isn't in charge, as an American person, I think, the only way money isn't in charge of your life is if you do some radical stuff, right? Take some radical action to say, I'm not going to make the pursuit of more money the main focus of my life. That takes some radical action, which I think a sabbatical is. I think a sabbatical is radical. I think house sitting is pretty radical. I think work exchanges or working on a resort for the season, I think that's pretty radical action. It's saying to yourself, I prioritize what I want to do and not what people are telling me I'm supposed to prioritize. I'm not prioritizing making the money. At least for this section of my life, I'm not prioritizing making more and more and more and more. I'm not For this period of my life, I'm not prioritizing some greater, higher purpose that's wearing me down, that's using and abusing me. I'm prioritizing a little bit of peace, a little bit of rest, a lot of rest. Yeah. I love it for us. I love to see it. Hi, Milu. I'm so grateful the Lord has led me to your channel as I've been praying for guidance and ways to earn income or help get into a place since being homeless. Hi, Milu. Welcome. Welcome. Welcome all new friends and welcome everyone. Hello, everyone. There are more ways to make money than from a particular job. So I want to point you to, we have a more thorough resource. So today I'm talking about career break money and 3 ways to make career break money. But we have a more thorough resource on how to make money. We all know that the solution to a lot of our problems in life is to make more money, right? This is a place where we don't pretend like we don't need money to live out our lives, right? So if the solution for things, where you are today in your life, if what will make your life better is to make more money, we have an even more thorough resource called Exodus Summit. Exodus Summit 2022 was a virtual summit where women came in and talked specifically about how to get started making more money in that way. So I don't know what you do, and I don't know what you want to do to make money. But we had speakers come in and talk about things like freelancing, in particular freelance writing, teaching online, right? A little bit, kind of what we covered today, but more on your own platform. So we talked a little bit about teaching online with Cambly, which is a great place to get started. If you need cash this in a week, Cambly, right? I think you can get approved in a couple of days. Actually, I shouldn't promise that because you never know when they're busy and when they're not. But on Cambly, you can get approved quickly, and then they used to just pay on Sunday, right? No matter how many hours you work that week, they pay you on Sunday, right? Cambly is a fast start way to make extra money. If you're a native English speaker, Cambly, okay? But we covered some more in-depth things at Exodus Summit 2022. I feel like I'm jumping around. I don't know if I've clearly communicated what I'm trying to communicate to me, which is if you still need to make more money to live your life, right? To solve some problems in your life, I would get started with Cambly if you're a native English speaker. And I would go to Exodus Summit 2022 at exodussummit.com and look at the list of ways that women came in to talk about how to make more money. If any of these sound good to you, if any of them are something that you want to spend some time working on, I would get a replay ticket to Exodus Summit 2022. You can go over to the site now and you'll see the list of sessions. We had putting your home on Airbnb. We had real estate investing without being a landlord. We had freelance work, freelance writing in particular, but any type of freelance work would benefit from Jessica's session. We had e-commerce and creating a website, an e-commerce store. We had, getting a pay raise, 3 secrets to earning the salary you deserve, right? If it's a question of they're not paying me enough on this job, right? I know other people are making more than me on this job. 3 secrets to earning the salary you deserve. That session from Team Zekas, there's money in that session. We have a session on virtual sex work, phone sex and feet pics, right? Virtual sex work to make money. One of the women, we have a testimonial from a woman who made, I say this backwards every time. I think she made $6,000 in 2 months or 4 months. $6,000 extra dollars in 2 months or 4 months after going to the virtual sex work session. Going from in-person social work, right? People who work in social services, how to find a job that is truly remote, truly work from anywhere, right? If what's going to make a difference for you is you work in social services and you just need to not be where you are, right? You just need to be able to be location independent. How do you do that when you're a virtual services worker? When you're a social services worker. We had a wonderful session on that. Remote work from Libria, just finding remote jobs, period. Libria's session on finding remote jobs. I don't know anybody who goes to exodussummit.com and doesn't see a session that wouldn't help her make more money, okay? So if you go to exodussummit.com and you see a session that will help you make more money, buy the replay, okay? But seriously, anybody today who needs some extra money in a pinch, Cambly, I have a whole video on it. I have a whole video on teaching English, tutoring English as a second language online. And again, it's mostly conversation. Mostly just people who want to have conversations. Now, if you go Cambly Kids, I think Cambly Kids pays a little more, but they have a curriculum that you have to follow. You have to do, you're teaching kids. You have to be like, cup, If you don't want to do all that. Regular Cambly. When I signed up, and times vary. But I want to tell you, when I signed up, it probably took me 2 days after I did you do a little video to verify that you're a native English speaker. And I think you send in your driver's license or something. After that, I want to say it took them 2 days to approve me, maybe 3. And boom, you get on Cambly. It's scary. It's the kind of thing where you just have to say, this is scary, but I'm going to go ahead and put myself available, right? I know that I don't know what to expect. It's going to be a little scary, but I'm just going to hit available and see who pops up on this screen, right? And by Sunday, you can have some money in your bank account. Okay? All right. Yeah, that's Cambly Kids. Cup! book, right? If you don't want to do all that, you don't have to do all that. You can just do Cambly for adults, which is 12. They consider adults, I think it was 12 and up was adults. And they are more interested in having conversations with you. Cambly is all over the world too. So if you're familiar with tutoring English online, but it was mostly Chinese people, Cambly is not that. Cambly is not China based, China owned. I think they're in all over the world. Maybe not. Maybe, I don't know. Lots of countries. So you can have a student from wherever. One of the videos on their website is a woman who had a student from Turkey. Man, no, this was a man. A man had a student from Turkey. And he tutored that person from not being very good with English at all to I passed my pilot's exam and I'm now a pilot with Turkish Airways. And I am now conversational in English, right? Because of that Cambly tutor who worked with him for a few years. Took him from, listen, work prospects are not good, to, oh, I've changed the course of life for my family. I've changed my family's income earning potential because that man tutored him on Cambly a few hours a week. Okay, all right. So we've talked about the options. Are there questions that I haven't answered? A lot of questions I haven't answered. So Marcia, I'm not posting the Rehoboth Meetup details here. It's only for Exodus Summit members. So you have to be in the Exodus Summit community to see it. So join the Exodus Summit Facebook community if you're not already a member. You can, okay, now having said that, anyone who is coming, you can bring a friend. I did say it like you couldn't bring a friend. Every meetup, somebody has brought a friend. I think most meetups I've been to. It's okay to bring a friend, but I don't want to put it on YouTube. YouTube is everybody. If a whole bunch of white women show up at this meetup, you know how you know how quickly we're gonna have to shut it down. White women talking about, but why does everything have to be about black and white? I don't see color, right? That's what we don't want. That's what we're not going to do. So I don't know where or when yet, which is why when you join if you're in Exodus Summit and you look at events and you don't see it, it's not up yet, okay? It's not up yet, but hopefully Tashira and I will have an answer today or tomorrow. Tomorrow's Easter, so hopefully today, because she may not be around tomorrow. And then hopefully by Monday, you'll see a meetup in the Exodus Summit community. It's either going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday at Rehoboth Beach or Dewey Beach. Okay, I'll tell you, I want to go to Dewey's. I want to go to Dewey Beach. I want to go to Woody's. I don't know. I'm just going to tell you. I want to eat at Woody's at Dewey Beach. My mom and dad and I love Woody's. We usually go to the one in Maryland. You can get a whole lobster for like not a whole lot of money. So I want to go to Woody's at Dewey Beach. So I need to find out if Tashira is okay with that and what day she's available. And then that's when we'll decide when we're going and if that's where we're going. MT, are tutoring sessions on Cambly public? No. Cambly is a closed platform. And it's not, I don't know if it's not recorded as far as I know. No. Yeah, okay. So one day next week, hopefully at Woody's at Dewey Beach, which is right next to Rehoboth Beach. Most people consider them the same, but they're not the same. Woody's, Dewey Beach, we'll know when in the Exodus Summit community, hopefully by sometime today, but maybe by Monday. Right? Like we can't open things up. We cannot open things up. Black women need to have a place for Black women. The event doesn't exist yet. I'm telling you to get in the, hi Francis. I'm telling you to get in the community if you're not in the community. But the actual event does not exist yet. It'll exist soon, okay? It'll exist soon. Yeah, Dewey Beach is nice. Having been a person who just came back from El Salvador, I'm like, yeah, it's nice. It don't have nothing on El Salvador, but it's nice. Okay? Right, fairly fast. We're trying to play catch up. Others have already had their sabbaticals backpacking at 16 paid for by their parents. Right? So just because this is a new thing that we're seeing is not a new thing, right? White people have done it. Europeans do it at any age, right? European people, it's just a thing to them. It's no big deal. It's a thing to them. Work is not the center of their lives anyway. So yeah, okay. So they took a break after high school. They took a break after college. They took a break every 6 or 7 years on their job, right? Like no big deal. And then in the US, white people with money have been doing it. Um, it's not strange. It's just new to us, I think. It's not strange. One more time. Exodus Summit is the name of the Facebook community. If you go to facebook.com/groups/Exodus Summit. The easier way, I don't know why I did it that way. The easiest way to find it is exodussummit.com/community. This is in all caps, even though I tell y'all don't all caps me. I wrote this in all caps. One day I'll go back and change it. exodussummit.com/community. Sure, Tammy, sure. Bring children, bring your kids. Sure. Uh, it's just a casual, like, we're just gonna be eating lobster. I'm gonna be eating lobster. I don't know what y'all gonna be eating. Woody's, I don't know that they're gonna have anything vegan. I didn't think about that. So we'll have to see what Tashira says. If Tashira's a vegan, then we may find a different restaurant. But Woody's is seafood. I love seafood. That was my vote. That was my vote. Okay. LR wants to know if anyone knows a place where you can list your apartment and have someone take over the lease, not sublease. If it exists, somebody will know the name, right? If there's a platform that exists, somebody will know it. Okay. I'm just scrolling through comments to see if there's anything. It's noon because the Exodus Summit meetup includes a camel ride, but you cannot be more than 110 kilos to get on a camel. I have been fasting until noon. I'm doing the 16-6 fast. So I fast 16 hours a day and I have to eat all my meals within 6 hours. So I'm now released. I'm now free to go eat some food. So I'm gonna go eat some scrapple, eat some breakfast. I'm trying to get down to 110 kilos so I can get myself on a camel. I still might not do it because I didn't enjoy the one time I got on a horse in Costa Rica. I didn't enjoy it all that much. And I can't imagine a camel is any more comfortable, right? Camel is probably way less comfortable than a horse. So I might not do it anyway. Anyway, I'm off. I'm just like, my mind is gone. I'm doing things. I'm just thinking about things. Okay, so, what I'm saying is I'm hungry and I'm about to go end the live stream so I can eat. Okay, so Gail, we don't have a date yet. Sometime next week, either sometime probably Monday through Thursday, one of those days. And I don't know what time. I don't know if Tashira is available in the daytime or the evening. I don't know. Hopefully we'll be eating at Woody's in at Dewey Beach. You need to just be in the Exodus Summit Facebook community and look for events. Um, and you'll find it. You'll find it after we make it. It's not there yet, but after we make the event, you'll find the event. I would go back and look tomorrow. Okay. I hope, yeah. So it will happen. Even if Tashira's like, listen, sorry, I decided I just can't make it. I'll just pick a day. My mom and I will ride down. I think she'll ride down. I'll ride down. My mom and dad and I, we love Woody's. We love the one in Maryland though. So this will be good. Okay. I'm just scrolling really quickly to see if there is anything that I can answer. Most of your questions I probably wouldn't be able to answer anyway. If you're asking me about 401ks or you're asking me about like renting out your home, somebody else can answer that. I don't have that. I don't have it. I can answer a handful of Cambly questions, a handful of questions, and then any question you have about house sitting, and maybe a handful of CoolWorks questions like working on the resort. Ah, Tiffany, I think I did. You did tell us this. Tiffany worked at the Grand Canyon and Denali National Parks in Alaska. Thanks to CoolWorks. I remember you talking about this. Tiffany was a speaker at Exodus Summit 2021. Yes, yes. Maybe one day we need to talk about this again. Do you remember enough information to talk about it again here on this channel, or was it a long time ago? Maybe I need to reach out to you and we need to talk about that again. Yeah, because like I said, CoolWorks is underutilized. And I do feel responsible for part of that. I feel like I need to talk about this a little bit more, but I've never done it. I just know Shell and Tiffany. So we need to talk about this another time. Maybe sometime soon. Because I'm telling you, I get there, follow them on Twitter and I get their email newsletter and you'll know I don't want no job. But even I'm like, oh, I would do this. Okay, right? I would do this. I need to unsubscribe or I'm gonna mess around and get a job by mistake. Okay. Okay. That's wonderful. Tell us the information for the farmers again. So work exchanges are workaway.info, helpx.net, and wwoof.org, wolf.org. That's what you're meaning? It's going to be in the description in a few minutes. And it's not in the description yet, but it's going to be in the description in a few minutes. Yeah, lioness. We rode camels in Egypt. Our bodies hurt days after. Yeah, I can't imagine it's going to be comfortable or fun. It's just for the gram, right? It's just for the pictures. I don't mind doing things just for the photos. But I feel like standing next to a camel holding the rein in my beautiful dress will be just as impactful. The photo will look just as good. So I may not get on the camel anyway, because I rode a horse in Costa Rica. I'm talking about years ago, not the last time I was in Costa Rica. I rode a horse years ago, and I don't remember it being fun. I don't remember enjoying riding that horse. Yeah, I got to get there. I got to get there. 55 to 60. 18.6 is 55 to 60. 18.6. 18.6 is 55 to 60. I don't get it. I'm missing something. I feel like you're trying to help me. Oh, for age groups. Okay, I'm 48. So you're telling me, so what does that mean? So what should I be doing? I'm 48. Fasting friends. Okay, okay. After trying to rush y'all off, now that I want some help, I want to stay a little bit longer. So I'm 48. What should I be doing? Not 18.6? 16, what did I say? 16.6. It's 18.6 because there's only 24 hours in a day. I said 16.6, but it's 18.6, right? So what should I be doing? Thank you, Ty. Ty Libra says, I am full of wisdom and naturally hilarious. Please spread the word. I've been trying to tell my parents how funny I am. And they're just like, what is she talking about? We be talking about stuff. And they just look at me. I'm like, y'all, I am hilarious. Okay? Y'all don't even know. Underappreciated. Talk about underappreciated in her own family. Okay, Tori's saying, hi Tori, 47 and I do 16.8 most of the time. Okay. Susie Lee is like, don't forget the strength training. Like, you got to add some stuff in there. No comment. My kettlebell is here. My kettlebell still has the tag on it. So you know I haven't used it. My kettlebell still has the... So that is how far I've gotten, Susie Lee, with strength training. Ugh, I fear it's too late. It's too late. Is it too late? It's too late. It's too late. All right. Okay. Yeah, I'm doing 18.6 then. Yeah, I've been doing 18.6 just since I got home, just for the last few days. Uh, just to make sure. Just to make sure. Okay, okay. Okay, I think we're done. I think we did it. I think I've answered the questions that I have answers to. I think I have giving you some things to think about. Okay, so hopefully think about it. Okay, I've not been shy about wanting you to quit your job. I want you to take a lot of time where you don't work as an adult. So I hope this gave you some new ideas on how to approach that financially. We didn't talk about marrying a rich sucker. I recommend that as well. Some people always say it's not worth the hassle. So you have to decide. Okay, you decide. But there are some options out here, and I hope that we will exercise our options like our life depends on it. Because for some of us, it really does. Okay? For some of us, our life depends on us taking a break. Please take a break and don't wait until you're breaking down. Okay? That is what we're going to end on today. Thank you so much for being here, for being so kind and generous and giving and sharing in the chat, for answering questions and getting to things that I couldn't see or didn't get to, for communicating so lovingly with one another. Don't forget to do that same thing for you. Okay? Don't forget to communicate lovingly and with grace to yourself. Treat yourself with that same loving kindness that you shower me with, that you throw at me, right? If you have left a compliment in this chat for me, you need to be writing down some compliments for yourself today. Don't let the day pass without you complimenting yourself. If you have thanked me, don't forget to take some time today to thank yourself. Okay? I mean it. I'm not just saying, I mean it. Okay? You should have it written down. If you do it, do it. Okay? Write it down. Write down some compliments for you, just like you've been complimenting me. Write down some thank yous to you, just like you have thanked me. Take some credit for some stuff, just like I do. Okay? Do these things for you and make them part of your daily wellness practice. Okay. I'll see you guys again soon. I think next Saturday we'll have a guest, because I think next Saturday is when we fly. I don't know. We may have a guest next Saturday, but hopefully we'll see you. Hopefully you'll still be here next Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Okay. Bye, friends.